So today we're going to talk about an interview or an audition because they're very similar. And a lot of times it's the attitude of, oh, I'm not going to get this job, I'm not qualified, or I'm not going to get in this play because, I don't know, maybe your confidence is low or you don't think you fit the part. But there's another way to look at this. Each time you go for an interview or an audition, you're presenting yourself. And even if that particular position or that part isn't available, because you showcased yourself, the people doing, the manager, or the director, or the casting director may say, hey, this person doesn't fit the role they're trying for, but I think they'd be great for this because I really like them, so I'm going to keep them in mind. Right? If you make a positive impression, people will say, hey, I want this person on my team because they're going to add to it. So maybe I can't give them that position or that part, but maybe there's another one they could do. And I remember watching a show, I think it was a daytime talk show, and they had Harrison Ford, and he was asked, you know, what would you do to get into the movies or whatever, and he said, be useful. And then there was another one with Samuel L. Jackson, and they were talking to him, and he was saying, you know, don't start telling a director what to do or how you should do things, especially if you're just starting out. Just do your best. Now that's if you get hired. But when you're doing the interview, it's also analyzed. Did you do a good job? Did you present yourself well? If you did, then for the time being, you're just not meant to get that job or that part. And you can talk to friends, get feedback, right? If they say, no, you could have done this or that, and you think about it and go, yeah, I should have, then the next time do it. But there's also a thing called improvement. If you just go to an audition or an interview and you say, I messed it up, there's no sense doing it again. No, that's not how you learn, right? If you're in a band and you're young and you're starting out, you've got a whole lot to learn. And as your voice gets better, if you're the singer or guitar playing or piano playing or drums, violin, some other string instrument, it takes time to get better and better. And that's how you should look at it. It's kind of like doing a workshop. Don't go and do a workshop and say, you know, my first workshop was horrible, I'm not going to do it again. You step back and you analyze and you say, okay, what could have I done to improve that? Which you want to do anyways. I'm pretty sure people who still thrive in their business or as actors, that they continue to say, how can I improve? Because if you can't improve, maybe it's time for you to retire. Okay, so if you go into an interview, it's the mindset. What's your mindset? I suggest you do your research on the business you're trying to get into as best you can, and then focus on what would I want if I were the interviewer or the owner of this place. What am I looking for? And you become what they're looking for, right? As long as it's morally sound. The same with a part. Don't go in and say, oh, I didn't get it, and kick a can over, at least not while you're there. Go in and be positive and say, hey, I want to be part of a team. Because in a workplace, in a play, production for a movie, you're part of a team. You're not just an individual. It's action, reaction. Whether it's in the workforce or getting ready to perform a play, keep that in mind. Okay? That's one of the things about professional wrestling that's interesting, is you're not made so much by you, but by your opponent. And that's why they have what's called a heel and a baby face. And I know it sounds like I'm jumping around, but it's all the same concept. What does the employer want? And if you were the employer, what would you want? Because it's probably similar. It's probably the same thing. If you're going for a part, what are they looking for? Because even if you don't get the part you want them to ask you to try for another part, or to come back and try for another play or a movie or a TV show. You want to make a positive impression that says, I want to be a team player. When you get people who aren't team players, things fall apart. Sometimes they're called poison and they get fired. And that's not what you want to do. You want to say, hey, I'm in here to help your company, your production succeed. I want to be part of that success. It's something to think about.